And now we're finally at the games. Okay, those are actually all the different regions of the Mega CD slash Sega CD. On the top here we have a Japanese Mega CD game, then this is a PAL version of a Mega CD game, and this is the North American version, or a North American version of a Sega CD game. The Japanese Mega CD games came in those CD cases, just regular CD cases were used for the Japanese Mega CD games. The European slash the PAL games have those double CD cases, and a few of the PAL released games actually used the big cases, like this one here, Ground Zero Texas. So this is also one of those big box releases, like the North American versions of the Sega CD games. And yeah, this is a Sega CD game from North America. Actually, the first games that were released for the Sega CD in North America actually came in cardboard boxes. What's interesting is that you have 3 different categories of games on the Mega CD slash Sega CD, and I don't mean like, for instance, rail shooter or platform or whatever. What I mean is that you had games that were released on the Mega CD, like for instance Starblade. This game was also released on other platforms, like for instance on the 3DO or the PlayStation 1, but this is a game that couldn't be released on the Mega Drive slash Genesis, for instance. Then you had games like Jurassic Park, which was released on the Mega CD slash Sega CD, but it was also released on the Mega Drive slash Genesis. And those are completely different versions, because the Jurassic Park game on the Mega Drive slash Genesis is a jump and run platformer game, and the Jurassic Park game on the Mega CD slash Sega CD is actually a point and click adventure. And the last category is games that were released on both systems, like this one, The Amazing Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin, which was released on the Mega CD slash Sega CD and also on the Mega Drive slash Genesis. Both games are for the most part identical, but for the Mega CD slash Sega CD version of the game, they included cutscenes and the sound was improved, so those games have CD audio quality. Okay, but let's start with the first game, and we're gonna start with Batman Returns. This is also one of those games that I just mentioned. So Batman Returns was also released on the Mega Drive slash Genesis. It was a platformer beat 'em up kind of game, but for the Mega CD slash Sega CD version they also included 3D driving stages. And it's a game based on the movie Batman Returns, and this is one of the games that really shows the ASIC graphic chip in action. The game is fast, looks very good, especially all the explosions in this game, and it has a really cool soundtrack. But for me this actually only counts for the driving stages. The platforming stages or the platform stages are not that exciting, at least in my opinion. The music is still good, the graphics are average, but I don't like them nearly as much as the driving stages. The last thing that I wanted to mention in this game is that it is pretty hard, and I mean both stage types. I personally would really recommend this game for the Mega CD slash Sega CD. Now to the next game, Batman, or The Adventures of Batman and Robin. This game is based on the animated TV series of Batman and Robin. This time the game only has driving stages, and later on you also have some flying stages. But you don't have any of those platform levels or platform stages in this game. Between all the levels you watch some cutscenes from the animated TV series. I guess they were taken from the TV series. The graphics, the sound and the atmosphere is also very good in this game. but it is also a very hard game. The time limit also in this game doesn't leave much room for any mistakes or screw-ups. There are also many obstacles to avoid in the levels, and the thing that I actually hate the most in this game is the things that the enemies throw at you act like homing missiles, so it's almost impossible to dodge all the stuff that the enemies throw at you. But in the end, I also think it's a very cool game, but it is very frustrating. Like I said, I would also recommend this game. And the next game that I wanted to show you is Thunderhawk. Thunderhawk is a flight simulator where you take control of an AH-73M Thunderhawk combat helicopter and you fight your way through many missions set in 10 different locations / countries. The gameplay, in my opinion, is more arcadey than a simulator, but I think it's also a very fun game. It's also one of those games that show the ASIC graphic chip in action. The game has some really nice sort of 3D graphics. It has also a very cool soundtrack, and yeah, I think it also has a very good atmosphere, this game. Also another one that I would actually highly recommend, especially if you like flight simulators / more arcadey flight simulators. The next game is Formula 1 World Championship Beyond the Limit. This is a Formula 1 racing game / simulator with many racing teams, cars, tracks and drivers of the time when this game was released. You can choose your racing team, make all kinds of changes for your car / in the car settings menu, like tires, handling, front wing, rear wing and so on. Drive qualifications and yeah, in the end the Grand Prix. Graphic wise, I would say it is a good looking game. The music between all the races, when you go through all the menus, is also not bad. Only the sound effects are average in my opinion, and the controls feel more like an arcade game actually than a simulator. Even though I don't play those kind of simulators anymore, I would still recommend this game, especially for people who like Formula 1. The next game is Racing Aces. And Racing Aces is a racing game with armed planes. And I really like the idea of this game. I mean, you fly on marked courses, you collect other weapons, repair kits, boosters throughout the race, and you try to finish the race first without getting shut down by the other pilots. At the beginning you can choose between 3 planes / classes. You have a Fokker DR-1 from World War I, you have a P-38 Lightning from World War II and an F-16 Falcon from the present days. According to the manual, later on you can buy more planes and special weapons, and yeah, it really sounds like Mario Kart with fighter jets. So like I said, I think it's a cool idea. But the problem with this game is, it looks below average graphic wise. Then for a 3D game you can't judge distance. By the time you notice that you are too low with your jet or too close to a hill, it is already too late. And the last thing that I didn't like was the super sensitive controls in this game. The music and sound effects are actually okay, and I know there are people out there who really like this game, but I personally would not recommend it. But again, this is just my opinion. Like I said, I really like the idea of this game, but I think the developers could have done a better job with this game. Next, we're gonna take a look at Jurassic Park. Now, like I mentioned before, Jurassic Park on the Mega CD/Sega CD is a point-and-click adventure. If you don't like point-and-click adventures, then yeah, you also would not like this game. If you like point-and-click adventures, then I really would recommend this game to you. It actually has some really nice graphics, and yeah, for a point-and-click adventure it actually doesn't do anything wrong. The graphics, like I said, are actually pretty good. The sound in this game is also not bad, and from the controls it is a point-and-click adventure, so this game has pretty standard controls for a point-and-click adventure. If you like Jurassic Park and point-and-click adventures, then go for it. If not, then yeah, don't buy this game. Next is Star Wars Rebel Assault. Now, I've already reviewed this game in my Rebel Assault review, and like I already said in my Rebel Assault review, this was the weakest version of Rebel Assault that I had. It's still a cool game, especially if you are a Star Wars fan, and at the time this game was released, it actually looked good, not as good as the other versions of the game Rebel Assault, like for instance on the 3DO, but yeah, it still looked good for the time when this game was released. The soundtrack is amazing because it's the original John Williams soundtrack, and yeah, controls are also not the best, but since this game is slightly slower than or the Mega CD/Sega CD version is slightly slower than all the other versions, this one is actually the easiest version that you can get of Rebel Assault on the PC and on the 3DO. The difficulty is a little bit higher because the game runs a little bit faster. So actually it is a cool version of Rebel Assault, and I still would recommend this game, especially if you don't already have a version of Rebel Assault in your collection. Now, the next game is Sonic CD. For many people, this is the best version of a Sonic game / one of the best versions that you can get of a Sonic game. In Sonic CD you have some extra levels or bonus stages where the game is also in 3D, so in those stages the game also takes some advantage of the ASIC graphics chip. I haven't recorded any of those, but I have to say I'm not really a huge Sonic fan. I'm also not a huge Mario fan. I think graphic-wise the game looks actually pretty good. The music is also not bad. It also has very good speed and everything, but yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge Sonic fan or anything, but I still think it's a good game on the Mega CD. But I know for every Sonic fan, I can highly recommend this game. Okay, the next game is Dark Wizard, and Dark Wizard is a strategy game, a turn-based strategy game, like for instance Battle Island or History Line or Panzer General or Fantasy General, if you ever played one of those games. It is set in medieval fantasy time. It actually has some pretty cool animated cutscenes, and every time that you get attacked by an enemy unit or you attack another enemy unit, then you see some animations of the fight. And graphic wise, I think this is a very nice looking game. I really like the music in this game. This is also one of the rarer games on the Sega CD. It wasn't released on the Mega CD, at least not in Europe as far as I know. And it really reminds me of the History Line, Battle Island and all those turn-based strategy games from back in the days, which I played a lot back then, but today, yeah, I don't really have the time for those games. But yeah, I would highly recommend this game. Next is Ground Zero Texas, and this is one of those full motion video games. Story wise, it is that aliens invade Earth, and they start with a town in Texas, and you are a member of a special forces team, and you have to identify all the aliens because they look like humans or they are inside human bodies, whatever. Yeah, and you use four different cameras. Those cameras also have some laser cannons on them, and yeah, it's more a rail shooter. It looks and plays actually like a light gun shooter, but without a light gun. It's goofy, it's cheesy, and yeah, there's actually not much that I can say about this game. If you like cheesy and goofy full motion video games, then yes, go for it. If not, then yeah.
I can't understand why you're acting like this either.
Because you do some stupid things.
Family.
Hey, real good.
Hey, well, you know.
Go. Hey, man, what are you doing? Playing.
Yeah, what do you think?
Then the next game is Midnight Raiders, and Midnight Raiders is also a full motion video game. This time you are the gunner of an Apache helicopter, and yeah, like I said, it is a full motion video game. It's basically like a rail shooter, so every time there's an enemy on the screen you try to lock it with your crosshair, and yeah, if you succeed in a specific time to do that and also to hit the fire button, then the enemy blows up. If not, then you lose one of your lives. It's also a very goofy game actually, and also very cheesy. It's kind of fun, but I know that I can't recommend this game to everybody. So if you like full motion video games, then go for it. If not, then yeah.
I count 1. Yeah. Good work, Joker. Now do it again.
Ridge coming up, Joker. Make me proud.
Hind approaching. I don't like the looks of it. Good shooting, kid.
Joker couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Put me in the lead.
Coming up on the rise. I count 1 bogey. Leading. Joker, shoot it.
You sure about this, Joker? He's a good man.
Next game is also full motion video game. This is Tomcat Eli, and Tomcat Eli is almost exactly like Midnight Raiders, but what I really like about this game is actually that you really have to lock on the enemy planes. It's not like you can hammer all the time on the fire button like in Midnight Raiders, because in Midnight Raiders the game would only react to the fire button if you actually log on to the enemy target, but in Tomcat Eli, every time that you push the fire button, you will always shoot a rocket and or fire a rocket. And only if you have locked on to an enemy target, then you would also hit this target. If you miss with one of your rockets, then the enemy has his turn to attack you and he fires a missile at you, and then you have to avoid this rocket. So you have to activate the jeffs to avoid or dodge an enemy rocket, and yeah, you only have a limited amount of those on your plane. And yeah, it's, I mean, you're not the pilot, you're more the co-pilot in this game, so you also have to change the navigation points and so on. It is actually one of the more enjoyable full motion video games for me, also because I like F-14 Tomcat planes, and it also has a little flair of the Top Gun movie. So for me, it's actually one of those games that I would really recommend. It's also goofy and cheesy, but it's more fun to play than most of the other full motion video games.
Like we've got a MiG driver ready to hit the sill. I've lost Callie. Find him. Wait. Bandit! Bandit! Where is he? Damn it! Our MiG is dead ahead. Close. Like we've got a MiG driver ready to hit the sill.
Okay, next full motion video game is Fahrenheit, and this game, well, let's say in this game you are a firefighter and you are the new member of a fire department, and you do what firefighters do. So during the missions there are houses on fire, sometimes there are people that you have to save, and in the end you have to make decisions in this game. A lot of times this is basically the idea of a full motion game, to make decisions, and yeah, if you make a wrong decision, then it can happen that you die or one of your firefighting buddies, and also it can happen that you choose the wrong direction and you use too much time, or your oxygen runs out or anything. It's an interesting game, and it's also, yeah, a full motion video game, but it's one of the more serious full motion video games, so it's not that cheesy or anything. And yeah, I think it's interesting, and I would also recommend it, especially if you like full motion video games.
You guys are halfway through your tanks. Where's the package?
We're working on it.
This is the only one that shot. She's probably in here.